Is the ocean getting higher, or am I just shrinking into my hoodie? The grinder hums in B flat major, and I keep checking my lock screen for a message from 3 years ago. Salt crust on the glass pane, someone's cyber spaniel barking at a gull on the solar dock. Cold foam collapsing slowly, micro bubbles popping like small domestic failures. I wonder if the seafloor remembers every anchor dropped, or if it just gets numb. My mind jumps from the high tide advisory to the exact shade of your canvas sneakers. I pay with a wrist tap, the digital ledger blinks green, but nobody indexed the memory files, and the steam wand bleeds into the ambient synth playing overhead. Steam wand his strain on the trestle, everything is overlapping now. I sit in the noise of 100 bad ideas, drinking cinnamon dust and lukewarm water. I think about the edge of the planet every time I sit near tide pools. Stream of thoughts running right down the tile floor, catching on the brass frame, catching on the ghost of you. The barista has a graphic tattoo of a waveform or a sea chart. I can tell without my lenses. Damp coastal draft smelling like ocean rot and burnt oat milk. Did I leave the patio light on in an apartment I moved out of last autumn? A silver spoon drops in the plastic bus tub, sharp metallic clatter like loose change on asphalt. Every passing car sounds like a wave breaking until it turns the corner. My mind jumps from cliffside erosion to the exact pitch of your voice when you lied about driving home. The haptic sensor on my finger says my stress level is peak, but I am only looking at a sugar packet, and the steam wand bleeds into the ambient synth playing overhead. Steam wand his strain on the trestle, everything is overlapping now. I sit in the noise of 100 bad ideas, drinking cinnamon dust and lukewarm water. Why do I think about the edge of the planet every time I sit near tide pools? Stream of thoughts running right down the tile floor, catching on the brass frame, catching on the ghost of you. Concrete floor, cold through my soles. If I refrain from speaking until midday, do I become part of the interior design? 1 sugar packet, 2 sugar packets, 0 answers, drifting off the coastline, drifting off the sentence I was building. Coastal fog inside the skull, nothing stays in focus when the air tastes this sharp. Is the ocean getting higher, or am I sinking lower into this booth? The grinder stops, the room settles by 1 decibel. Static over the harbor, just the tide and my brain running scripts in a loop. A single sharp dow cuts clean through the motionless quiet before the grinders turn. Camera pans past the teal vinyl banquette where steam trickles down the frame. Condensation traces an angled path across the harbor view glass. A silver spoon rests at 45 degrees inside an untouched porcelain cup. The tide pulls back beyond the patio, revealing wet slate rocks below. Depth of field shifts to the chrome tap, dripping behind the bar, reflecting neon letters from the street sign across the wet asphalt. Every detail held in widescreen clarity before the first customer arrives. Just light and shadows adjusting on the salt stained wall. Why shadow that coastal edge where the lemonade counter meets the spray? Dust motes floating in slow motion through ambient 3 o'clock sun. The lens captures an empty chair tilted toward the open boardwalk door. It looks like a movie set right before the actors take their marks. Everything recorded in cinematic silver and salt water. Close up on the digital display, reading order 37. A paper receipt flutters once beneath the brass paperweight and settles down outside. A yellow navigational buoy bobs against the slate horizon line. Low fidelity synth pads hum through small ceiling speakers. Nobody moves, nobody orders, just the slow zoom of incoming water. Back focus to the salt-crusted wind steam before the sound comes rushing back in. Slow fade on the empty sugar shaker, casting its long shadow across town. Still framed on the ocean horizon through the front double doors. Coastal wind holding its breath against the glass. End scene. Cut to black. Cut to black. Coarse waffle knit sleeves drag on salt-dusted pine. I run my nails along the woven line. The damp cotton pulls me backward through the haze, unraveling 330 days. You're sitting right across this corner bench, your fingers dripping from a lemon quench, laughing at the seagull on the rail before the autumn turned our summer pale. One touch of fragrance and the glass resets, the room dissolves in glowing silhouettes. I'm watching you lean into light a spark, just seconds before everything went dark. It's a fabric warp, a tactile flash, espresso steam and tie line crash. I'm 22 again inside this shirt before the quiet started to hurt. The cafe hums, the salt air stings. I'm holding on to woven things, replaying every word you never said, caught in the texture of a single thread. I rubbed the frayed cuff right where you once pulled to drag me out before the patio cooled. The barista calls out order number 5, and for a second you were still alive. Well, not dead, just living across the bay, building out a different yesterday. My thumb traces the rib down by my knee and pulls back every wave that hit the plate. Touch of frayed bread and the glass resets, the room dissolves in glowing silhouettes. I'm watching you lean into light a spark, just seconds before everything went dark. It's a fabric warp, a tactile flash, espresso steam and tie line crash. I'm 22 again inside this shirt before the quiet started to hurt. The cafe hums, the salt air stings. I'm holding on to woven things, replaying every word you never said, caught in the texture of a single thread. Sleep against table, friction and spark, memory snaps like a match in the dark. This heavy wool sweater was yours before mine, drenched in cold spray and cheap sparkling wine. I don't need a picture, I don't need a call, just this ripped hem to remember it all. Heavy cotton on a cold wood chair, damp sea breeze blowing through my hair. Thread by thread, the moment fades away. Just me, the tide, and another gray day. I smooth the seam, I let go of the dream. Toasted hazelnut and damp kelp drift across the patio, where Nora resets tablet screens under a canvas canopy. She wipes down table 9 while seagulls ride the coastal draft and checks the digital cue for a name she knows by heart. He arrives at 2:10 with the golden lab on a leash, orders the cold brew draft with a lime and a slice of peach. He doesn't look up right away, just taps his phone screen twice, leaving a tiny type note in the tip box line. And the bay turns teal under solar glass, while the afternoon hours spin fast, spin fast. Two strangers talking through printed receipt codes down at the edge where the beach cliffy roads. She marks his cup with a star made of ink, closer than either of them cares to think. The breeze smells like warm chicory and wet cedar wood. He sits by the charging port where the old bench stood. He writes a line about tides on a cloth napkin fold, leaves it beside his empty glass before the phone turns cold. She collects the empty glass when the shift begins to end, reads the 5 blue words that he didn't mean to send. Same time tomorrow, if the rain stays. to strangers talking through printed receipt codes down at the edge where the beach cliffy roads. She marks his cup with a star made of ink, closer than either of them cares to think. No dramatic declarations, no cinematic rush, just electric bikes idling in the seaside hush. The smell of roasted beans mixing with the tide, a simple open doorway where two worlds collide. Toasted hazelnut hanging in the evening air. Table 9 is empty now, but he left his chair facing hers, facing hers. Tomorrow at 2:10. A skateboard rattles over brick pavers right past our window frame. You roll your glass between your palms and forget to say my name. The espresso machine is hissing steam while the coastal breeze drifts in. You've been staring down at your quiet phone, wondering where to begin. I can tell you didn't sleep a wink in that tiny rental room, so let the tide carry off the dark and clear away the gloom. We don't need a timeline for today. Let the barista clear your plate away. Sit back down, you're safe right here, where the salt air washes out your fear. We can drink cold brew through a paper straw and forget the rules that we try to draw. You don't have to figure it out by noon. It's just you and me in a seaside booth. The delivery truck backs up the block with a steady rhythmic squeak. You sigh and say your freelance work was brutal all this week. There are seagull shadows on the wall and syrup on the wood. I know you're trying to act alright the way you think you should. Your iced latte is sweating fast on the laminated mat. Just kick your shoes off under here and let's leave it at that. We don't need a timeline for today. Let the barista clear your plate away. Sit back down, you're safe right here, where the salt air washes out your fear. We can drink cold brew through a paper straw and forget the rules that we try to draw. You don't have to figure it out by noon. It's just you and me in a seaside booth. The pier lights aren't coming on for hours yet. There's nothing on your calendar you're gonna regret. We'll watch the paddle boarders hit the bay and throw your little panic completely away. The espresso machine is silent now. We'll figure out the rest somehow. Leave your jacket in the booth, we're doing fine, and that's the truth. Just sit back down, right here with me. The iron chair takes both hands to drag across the tile. You are 19 and terrified, making eye contact with the horizon. Sitting in the ocean breeze, typing texts you will erase before 5. Drowning in cold espresso foam and clear marine light. I am writing this back to you from the exact same wooden corner. You think every quiet hour is a test that you are failing. You think nobody stays for someone who stares into the water. Stop saving your favorite sweater for a day that never comes. Drink the cream while it is fresh. Stop breathing salt air like a mistake. You do not ruin this cafe just by taking up space. The tide goes out, the tide comes back, and you are going to make it through November. 'cause you thought it made you look grown. Your thumb stays hovering over that contact from the inland suburbs. I remember how your knees shook under the cedar tabletop. You kept convinced you were stranded, but you were only catching your breath. You think every awkward pause is a wall pulling shut. You think everyone leaves when the summer ferry stops running. Stop saving your favorite sweater for a day that never comes. Drink the cream while it is fresh. Stop breathing salt air like a mistake. You do not ruin this cafe just by taking up space. The tide goes out, the tide comes back, and you are going to make it through November. I know you are waiting for a stranger to push that screen door open and pardon you. I know you feel like your lungs are made of paper bags, but listen to me. From 10 years down the coastal highway, we kept the apartment with the drafty kitchen window. We learned to love the noise of gulls at early light. You are not a failure, you are just 19. Leave the brass coin on the receipt. Uncross your arms. The heavy iron chair stays right where it belongs. You get to walk away now. You get to walk away. Her girl, it breaks his from the alleyway below, shattering the quiet where you usually let go. You're leaning on your elbows, looking past your cooling tea, counting floating foam bits like they're answers from the sea. Your phone is buzzing face down on the laminate wood, and you haven't checked your notifications like you said you would. The ocean's just a turquoise streak behind the glass. We're waiting for another summer month to pass. You tap your knuckles twice against your empty glass. Leave the key on the table, let the salt air in. We don't need a map for where we should have been. You've been holding your breath since the city line, buying sweet ice matcha just to pass the time. Sit right here, watch the gulls collide. You don't have to fix your life before the evening tide. I'm out bucket sloshes near the kitchen swing door as another neon sunset paints the concrete floor. You tell me that you're moving to a northern zip code, chasing cheaper rent or just a lighter load. I watch you tear a sugar packet right in half, trying so hard not to let your mother laugh. The ocean's just a turquoise streak behind the glass. We're waiting for another summer month to pass. You tap your knuckles twice against your empty glass. Leave the key on the table, let the salt air in. We don't need a map for where we should have been. You've been holding your breath since the city line, buying sweet ice matcha just to pass the time. Sit right here, watch the gulls collide. You don't have to fix your life before the evening tide. Remember back in August when we rented those bikes? We thought 30 would feel like a mountain spike. Now we're sitting on vinyl with marine plywood trim, watching light in the espresso machine turn dim. You don't owe anyone a grand 5-year plan. Just pass me the napkin and be where you can. Leave the key on the table, let the salt air in. We don't need a map for where we should have been. You've been holding your breath since the city line, buying sweet ice matcha just to pass the time. Sit right here, watch the gulls collide. You don't have to fix your life before the evening tide. Hydraulic brakes hiss down the coastal street again. Take another sip, my oldest friend. No need to fix your life tonight. Just sit right here in the fading light. Electric lavender illumination washes across the sticky counter. The girl in the yellow windbreaker sets her helmet down beside my mug. She points at my lukewarm drip coffee and asks if the Wi-Fi is down. I tell her it has been dead since the storm hit 3 days ago. She laughs, leaning back, saying maybe that is a feature, not a bug. She slides a damn paper coaster across the lemonade space. Are you heading north or just hiding out? I trace the condensation on my glass and watch her face. There is nothing left to be discreet about. Two strangers sharing a vinyl booth while the waves crash hard outside. She tells me her name is Maya, says she is trading the grid for the tide. We do not need history to make this 30 minutes count. Just coffee grounds and sea fog settling the whole account. Her phone glows dim with a dead battery icon pulsing red. She asked if I have ever seen the bioluminescence down at the cove. I say I only moved here Tuesday, trying to clear my head. She nods like she understands every single mile I drove. The locals say the blue algae blooms around mid-October. She says she flips the coaster over, draws a tiny crooked map. If you walk past the old breakwater, you can hear the ocean snap. I ask her where she is sleeping tonight. She points out at the gray horizon light. Two strangers sharing a vinyl booth while the waves crash hard outside. She tells me her name is Maya, says she is trading the grid for the tide. We do not need history to make this 30 minutes count. Just coffee grounds and sea fog settling the whole account. The barista drops a tray of heavy mugs behind the bar. We both flinch, then catch each other's eye and smile. It is strange how somebody you met 10 minutes ago can make you feel like staying for a little while. She asks, do you think we ever really leave the things we hate? I say I will let you know when I finish my plate. Two strangers sharing a vinyl booth while the waves crash hard outside. She tells me her name is Maya, says she is trading the grid for the tide. We do not need history to make this 30 minutes count. Just coffee grounds and sea fog settling the whole account. She zips her jacket, slides out into the damp ocean air, leaves the little drawn map resting right by my chair. Electric lavender fades out to slate gray blue. Just a stranger's map and an empty cup for two. My bent stainless espresso spoon rests against the damp edge of a paper receipt. I count the bubbles in my lukewarm foam, calculating how many minutes until we meet. The tide outside drags gray gravel down the shelf, while at this corner booth I overthink myself. Did I reply too fast to your last line? Was the syntax awkward or was it fine? The steam on his cuts through the room like wire. My thoughts are caught in endless feedback wire. Nobody here knows I am waiting on a sign, just holding down this table on the coastal line. I am running 5 scenarios under my breath, drowning in detail, worrying to death. If you walk through that weathered oak putting on a show. I pivot the little steel spoon on its curve. It makes a faint click on the wet varnish grain. I tell myself to focus on the sea spray glass, or watch the yellow street lights filter through the rain. Instead I check my lock screen for the 4th time, searching for a message that justifies the rhyme. Measuring distance in 30-second loops, trapped inside my head in hyper-focus groups. The steam wand hiss cuts through the room like wire. My thoughts are caught in endless feedback wire. Nobody here knows I am waiting on a sign, just holding down this table on the coastal line. I am running 5 scenarios under my breath, drowning in detail, worrying to death. If you walk through that weathered oak door, will I be someone you do not want anymore? The salt air is heavy, the rhythm is slow, and my inner monologue is putting on a show. Maybe you turn back at the harbor light. Maybe you forgot we set this date tonight. Maybe I'm terrifyingly easy to replace, just a quiet ghost taking up bench space. Keep your fingers still on the ceramic cup. Take a single breath before you look back up. The spoon settles on the wood, the brass bell above the entryway chimes once. I do not look toward the glass yet, I just steady my breathing. 2 drops of condensed vanilla on the rim. Here we go. Pistachio neon filters through stained glass, casting green shadows on the sugar jars. You're sitting 2 stools down, watching waves pass, counting the rust spots on the seaside cars. You look in my notebook and offer a grin. Is that a novel or a grocery list? I laugh and I tell you where my day begins, lost in a harbor that doesn't exist. You slide your napkin across the wood, draw a little compass where the water stood, saying everyone's running from something back home. Nobody comes to the coast to be alone. So tell me your story, I'll tell you mine, while the damp salt air bends the shoreline line. 2 cold brew cups getting warm in the breeze, talking to strangers with remarkable ease. We don't need names, we just need the time, until the tide rolls in and resets the line. You say you drove down from the city up north, left all your boots in the hallway back there. I tell you I'm figuring what I am worth, washing the city dust out of my hair. The pie here is terrible, you lean in to say, but the drip filter coffee keeps the fog away. I take a small sip and I have to agree, it tastes like warm rain and a little bit of sea. You slide your napkin across the wood, draw a little compass where the water stood, saying everyone's running from something back home. Nobody comes to the coast to be alone. So tell me your story, I'll tell you mine, while the damp salt air bends the shoreline line. 2 cold brew cups getting warm in the breeze, talking to strangers with remarkable ease. We don't need names, we just need the time, until the tide rolls in and resets the line. The barista turns a chalkboard sign to close. We're still sitting here in our mismatched clothes. You say, if you ever find that harbor you see, send me a postcard from later this week. Then you drop $3 on the sticky tray, stand up, stretch out, and walk away. Pistachio neon fades into dusk, The sea smells of salt and iron and musk. A stranger's advice on a napkin of white. Just two lost souls in the evening light. Walk away in the evening light. You said yesterday that seagulls never actually rest. Now I count 6 of them standing on the weather vane. A girl in an oversized fleece pays with her smart ring. The register chimes twice, then skips a beat. There is a smear of dried oat foam on the laminated card, and 3 yellow plastic spoons soaking in a glass jar. The fairy horn rattles the tiny glass salt shaker. Someone abandoned a half-finished cross-stitch on a stool. I write down every single detail I notice, just to keep my mind off missing you. There are 22 scratches on the zinc counter edge. There's a dog with a purple leash tied to the railing ledge. A steam one hissed at 9:10. A postcard fell from the corkboard line. I am keeping an inventory of the afternoon, measuring the distance between the ocean and this room. The barista's left thumb has a blue ballpoint smiley face. The patron taps a stainless water bottle 3 quick times. The tie chart calendar on the wall is 3 days behind, beside a jar of laminated origami cranes. Condensation drips from the bottom of an ice magic cup, leaving a pale green ring on the pine tabletop. The ocean breeze catches the corner of a paper napkin. The wiper blades squeak on a delivery truck. Outside, I write down every minor detail happening, to prove that time still moves from side to side. There are 22 scratches on the zinc counter edge. There's a dog with a purple leash tied to the railing ledge. A steam one hissed at 9:10. A postcard fell from the corkboard line. I am keeping an inventory of the afternoon, measuring the distance between the ocean and this room. Item 41, a chip blue enamel bowl. Item 42, a ferry fading near the buoy line. Item 43, the quiet way the sunlight moves across your empty chair. I didn't notice how quiet a room could be until I stopped listening for your footsteps on the stair. Item 44, a red buoy dipping in the Swell. Item 45, the smell of espresso beans and damp timber. Item 46, your voice from yesterday still echoing clean. Seagulls on the weather vane, scratches on the zinc counter. Just a long list of small things. This chip brass table number 14 sits off center on the teak. I trace the dented corners while the driftwood benches creak across the pane. The foam is building quiet white barricades my iced espressos melting, turning dark roasted water into shades of watered down regret I never said out loud to you. The server drops a paper napkin, asked if 1 seat is fine for 2. I nod and lie and say I'm waiting for a friend who's running late. My thumb keeps spinning circles on this rusted copper coaster plate. The tide comes crawling in, like every thought I tried to push away. I'm running imaginary inside my head, rewriting every single careless sentence that you said. The salt air stings my eyelids, but I blame it on the breeze. Sitting at this coastal counter, dying by degrees. If I just stay silent long enough, the ocean takes the sound. And no one at the seaside cafe knows I'm drowning on dry ground. A tiny tear along the paper wrapper of my straw. I count the gulls above the pier without a single flaw. You're ghosted, sitting opposite, still picking at the crust of warm sourdough and promises we watch turn into dust. I replay Tuesday evening like a glitching streaming loop. The ocean wind kicks up the faded yellow awning with a swoop. I smile at strangers walking past to look completely fine. My pulse is tapping rhythms on this chipped ceramic line. The tide comes crawling in, like every thought I try to push away. I'm running imaginary conversations inside my head, rewriting every single careless sentence that you said. The salt air stings my eyelids, but I blame it on the breeze. Sitting at this coastal counter, dying by degrees. If I just stay silent long enough, the ocean takes the sound. And no one at the seaside cafe knows I'm drowning on dry ground. Maybe I'm addicted to this romanticized routine, sitting by the shoreline, staring at a tinted screen. I drop 2 sugar cubes into the bottom of the glass, watching them dissolve before the cloud formations pass. It takes a second to erase the sweet taste from the rim. It takes a summer to forget the way I let you in. Table number 14 stays right where it belongs. The espresso is cold now, the speakers play another artist's songs. I zip my jacket up against the grate and leave my thoughts on the table to wash away. Heavy cast iron scrapes the deck, a 30-pound anchor of painted green metal. I pull it around till the ocean breeze hits my neck, waiting for the seesaw fog to settle. I am sending a letter to age 19, back when you thought every crisis was permanent. You were shaking in a sweater that was faded and green, wondering what all the panic meant. The espresso machine still stutters and fumes, and the tides still pull at the cedar pillars. You do not need to apologize to empty rooms or drink cheap wine just to act like healers. Dear 19, stop holding your breath on the pier. The world did not end in that terrible year. You still buy cold brew with oat milk and vanilla syrup. You still get anxious when the seagulls stir up. But we made it to 30. We are sitting right here. The weight in your chest isn't nearly as heavy as this chair. The smart glass menu blinks a quiet blue, reflecting the swell where the trawlers drift through. You spend 6 months crying over someone named James. I can barely recall how to spell out his name. You thought failing that exam was the end of the line. No, it is just a footnote told over lime and pine. The coast hasn't swallowed the deck after all, and you learned how to stand up with a clutch in the wall. The espresso machine still stutters and fumes, and the tides still pull at the cedar pillars. You do not need to apologize to empty rooms or drink cheap wine just to act like healers. Dear 19, stop holding your breath on the pier. The world did not end in that terrible year. You still buy cold brew with oat milk and vanilla syrup. You still get anxious when the seagulls stir up. But we made it to sitting on the cramped dorm floor, counting up your dollars by the locked back door. You thought maturity meant losing your spark, or drowning alone in the cold coastal dark. But the sea air is warm and the sunlight is soft, and the burdens you carried were lifted aloft. You don't have to save everybody you meet, just pull up a seat. Dear 19, stop holding your breath on the pier. The world did not end in that terrible year. You still buy cold brew with oat milk and vanilla syrup. You still get anxious when the seagulls stir up. But we made it to 30, we are sitting right here. The weight in your chest isn't nearly as heavy as this chair. So unclench your jaw, let your shoulders drop down. It is a beautiful afternoon here in this town. Heavy green iron anchor on the deck, salt in the air, wind on my neck. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Complete silence shatters when a thought cuts through, recalling how you said we never make it past July. The grinder hums low against the zinc counter edge, and fog rolls up the glass in a slow vertical dive. A wide shot catches steam off the ceramic rim, with pond water green in the tide pool outside. You sit 3 chairs down, silhouette trimmed in gold, watching the gulls cut the horizon wide. The camera stays frozen on your thumb, trace on the glass. 2 iced matches melting while the shadows lengthen fast. No one speaks in this frame, just the salt on the breeze. A 90mm lens zooming through the cypress trees. Cut to the shoreline, cut to the condensation. Every single detail trapped in high resolution. You pull your knees up inside a faded wool sweater, looking at the ocean like it holds a solution. We're framed in the window of a coastal bay, with cinematic silence running away. A spoon clinks softly in an earthenware bowl, shifting the focus to the salt on the floorboards. The barista wipes down the espresso machine, while outside the swell hits the rotting pier boards. The lightning shifts neutral as a cloud blocks the bay, overexposed foam crashing gray onto gray. The camera stays frozen on your thumb, trace on the glass. 2 iced matches melting while the shadows lengthen fast. No one speaks in this frame, just the salt on the breeze. A 90mm lens zooming through the cypress trees. Cut to the shoreline, cut to the condensation. Every single detail trapped in high resolution. You pull your knees up inside a faded wool sweater, looking at the ocean like it holds a solution. We're framed in the window of a coastal bay, with cinematic silence running away. Freeze frame on the napkin tucked beneath my palm, rack focus from your collarbone out to the sea. 30 frames a second of this quiet seaside calm, before the shutter closes down on you and me. No background soundtrack, no sudden dialogue cue, just a solid atmosphere fading into blue. Zoom out from the table by the rusted iron latch, slow pan across the driftwood match. Cut to the wave, the seaside cafe settles into dust and shade. A single quiet thought that I could never say. Fade to black on the salt air. Fade to black. Where does the coastline actually break off? I stare at the steam drifting from the wipes the counter in anti-clockwise circles. Is that a gull or a drone hovering over the pier? Doesn't matter if the syrup in this cup isn't real. My brain is just a tap that refuses to refresh. Cold air biting my knuckles right through my sleeve. There's a freighter on the horizon that hasn't moved since noon. Maybe it's anchored, maybe it's just a hologram. Drip, tray, dripping high tide coming in. We swore we'd meet up when the season turned. Now the patio chairs are stacked and the deck smells of brine. And I'm counting white caps like thoughts I never sent. Stuck inside a quiet little feedback loop, drinking lukewarm matcha at the end of the bench. Why do people leave their dogs tied to the rusted bike rack? He's barking softly at a piece of floating foam. I should probably stand up and clear my own tray, but my legs feel heavy like wet sand under dock pillars. A Lisbon account like the 3-year-old picture of us. The ice machine crushes down with the sound like breaking glass. Did I turn off the stove before I left the house? I think I turned it off, but the clouds look like thunder. Tray, dripping high tide coming in. We swore we'd meet up when the season turned. Now the patio chairs are stacked and the deck smells of brine. And I'm counting white caps like thoughts I never sent. Stuck inside a quiet little feedback loop, drinking lukewarm matcha at the end of the bench. Salt on my teeth, battery floating at 10%. Is it 5 o'clock or am I just reading the glare? Every old memory feels like a file waiting to compress. You said you'd message the moment the plane touched down, and the espresso one purges with a sharp hiss, loud like a sudden human sigh, loud like the distance between your mouth and mine. Where does the blue turn to gray in the deep? The brass bell on the glass door rattles in the gusts. Nobody walked through, just the wind taking space, just the tide pulling another foot of pebbled shore away. Just me sitting here, waiting for the steam to die down. For 39 flashes on the barista board while the electric ferry glides across the bay. I close my eyes and skip past all the heavy work to see us 20 summers down the way. You'll have the streaker white beside your temple, then I wear the oversized linen shirt I bought today. We'll order 2 cold brews with lavender foam, watch the automated ghost trace lines in the blue. No one asking where we have to run, no one checking what we used to do. I can see it so clearly, a Tuesday in May at the glass counter right by the sea. When the high tide hits the seawall spray and you pass the sugar back to me. We won't even talk about the years between, just the salt on the breeze and the ocean screen. The digital clock shifts to 4:41. A solar barge drifts toward the harbor gate. I map out the lines around your future eyes and how we won't mind coming in late. You'll pull 2 wooden chairs out to the lower deck. I'll rest my chin against my hand and wait. We'll order 2 cold brews with lavender foam, watch the automated ghost trace lines in the blue. No one asking to run, no one checking what we used to do. I can see it so clearly, a Tuesday in May at the glass counter right by the sea. When the high tide hits the seawall spray and you pass the sugar back to me. We won't even talk about the years between, just the salt on the breeze and the ocean screen. Right now we are broke in a studio flat, counting pennies for a single train ticket down. But I hold this future like a pocket charm. Whenever the dark clouds settle over town, one day the coffee will just be coffee, and the water will just be home. I can see it so clearly, a Tuesday in May at the glass counter right by the sea. When the high tide hits the seawall spray and you pass the sugar back to me. We won't even talk about the years between, just the salt on the breeze and the ocean screen. 442 blinks red on the wall. I take a photo of the empty sea, saving a spot for who you're gonna be, where the boardwalk and the water meet. Just waiting for the time to catch up, where the boardwalk and the water meet. Eucalyptus steam and crushmen float across the deck. Clara wipes down counter for an adjuster collar neck. Outside the tide is creeping up the algae-covered stone. She watches strangers order drinks while staring at the phone. A guy in silver windbreakers has sat there twice this week. He checks the rain forecast on his sleeve, too hesitant to speak. The grinder hums its 60 hertz refrain. Another fog roll presses on the glass. She knows the subtle habits of the grain and how the quiet hours always pass. Clara swaps the chalkboard special right at 3, trading winter syrups for the salt from the sea. He orders cold brew with an extra oat shot. He sits beside the railing in his favorite spot. Neither one says anything that isn't on the tab, just a blue lit postcard in a coastal lab. The smell of toasted almond milk replaces lavender. She clears a plate of lemon cake that wasn't meant for her. He folds a paper wrapper till the corners turn to points. The coastal wind is humming through the aluminum joints. His tablet shows a blueprint of a harbor 5 miles south. A tiny speck of powdered sugar lingering on his mouth. The steam wand whistles low against the noise. The dock workers are washing down the quay. She reads the silent rhythm of his poise. A mile of open water off the bay. Clara swaps the chalkboard special right at 3, trading winter syrups for the salt from the sea. He orders cold brew with an extra oat shot. He sits beside the railing in his favorite spot. Neither one says anything that isn't on the tab, just a blue lit postcard in a coastal lab. At 4:15, the glass door swings wide. A gust of wet kelp and dark roasting spice. He leaves 3 digital credits inside and leaves a glass of melting ice. She picks up his napkin, it's covered in sketches. of automated ferry boats and cable wire stretches. She doesn't run out to the wooden seawall. She pinches the paper and hangs it on the hall. Eucalyptus steam lingers on the floor. The bell chimes once by the heavy cedar door. Claire sets the grinder back to 5, watching how the harbor stays alive. Just a chalk mark drying on the board. Just a secret never quite explored. Rib cotton catches on the corner of this wicker bench, where scratchy flannel used to keep the coastal rain away. My thumb traces the frayed hem of my sleeve, and suddenly the glass door swings open backwards in time. You were standing there dripping salt water onto tiled floors, holding 2 paper cups before the lids were made of fiber caps. The smell of dark roast melts into sea fog. I close my eyes and let the current drag me back. Every thread carries a sound clip from that June when we thought we owned the edge of the Pacific. And we were rewinding in the ocean air, drowning in the heavy weave of late July. You laughed until your shoulders shook the sugar shaker off the ledge. I touched the rough cloth and I am 22 again, sitting across from your bright green eyes. Before we packed the car and drove in opposite directions. Synthetic linen tablecloths filled the slick beneath my palms, not like the worn wool sweater you let me borrow on the deck. The digital chime at the barista counter rings out twice, and I swear I hear your voice calling my name through the steam. We wrote terrible lyrics on the back of receipts while the tide came up and soaked our canvas shoes. The smell of dark roast melts into sea fog. I close my eyes and let the current drag me back. Every thread carries a sound clip from that June when we thought we owned the edge of the Pacific. And we were rewinding in the ocean air, drowning in the heavy weave of late July. You laughed until your shoulders shook the sugar shaker off the ledge. I touched the rough cloth and I am 22 again, sitting across from your bright green eyes. Before we packed the car and drove in opposite directions. Memory's not a picture on a glowing glass screen. It is the friction of wool against a cold collarbone. It is the salt crust on denim after sitting on wet boardwalks. It is the way your hand fell through thick knitted mittens before the seasons changed and we smoothed out the wrinkles. Just thread and sea salt, just a frayed hem in my hand. The counter chime rings again, and I step back into the day, leaving the sweater on the chair. 8:11 glows on the wall clock above the roaster. Outside, the fog is thin, hanging low across the quay. I close my eyes and fast forward to a rainy July, when we both walk back in with graying seams and quiet minds. You'll order 2 black cold brews without asking me first, knowing exactly how much ice I like when the humidity turns worse. We haven't left those miles yet, but I can feel the weight, the way the sea breeze takes the heat right off the license plate. I can see the salt-stained coats we haven't even bought, and every small forgiveness that we haven't had to offer yet. In 2038, when the tide comes all the way up to the porch, we'll sit in the corner booth, keep keeping time with the lighthouse torch. No urgent text messages, no rushing back to town. Just 45 minutes watching the Pacific settle down. I picture you laughing at how young we used to pretend to be, right here at the seaside cafe, looking out at the open sea. The digital numbers flicker as the barista wipes the steam. I write down this projection on the corner of a receipt. We used to wear that worn corduroy jacket with the frayed left sleeve. Will the espresso machine still hiss like a slow intake of breath? I like believing we're guaranteed to arrive right here, older and softer, drinking coffee by the sound of the pier. We haven't built those years, but the vision stays so clear. The way the harbor light cuts through the afternoon atmosphere. I can see the silver threads shining in your hair, and the quiet comfort of just sitting in matching chairs. In 2038, when the tide comes all the way up to the porch, we'll sit in the corner booth, keeping time with the lighthouse torch. No urgent text messages, no rushing back to town. Just 45 minutes watching the Pacific settle down. I picture you laughing at how young we used to pretend to be, right here at the seaside cafe, looking out at the open sea. Maybe the world changes faster than the coastlines do. Maybe the modern buildings turn the skyline something new. But I've mapped out this Pacific minute far ahead, where nothing needs to be explained or written down or said. Just a couple of mugs on a dry wooden slate, waiting for the second hand to hit 8:11 again. In 2038, when the tide comes all the way up to the porch, we'll sit in the corner booth, keeping time with the lighthouse torch. No urgent text messages, no rushing back to town.